When we implemented all the different phases of the inspection departments, as I was going down the list, what kind of problems or situations had come up? Well, when we first started, and it was a very small shop with the part-time inspector, really not much of a problem at all. But I'll just go ahead and jump to where we are now, or where we have been. What has happened is an us against them mentality has taken shape. One, if somebody bends something backwards, you go to find out what it is that happened, and the first words out of his or her mouth are, well, I took it to inspection. But the second thing that has happened is inspectors, 9 out of 10 times, are people that can read a blueprint and they can use a measuring device, but they don't really understand how a part is made. And there is a bit of discontent by the guys that know how to make a part. It's like coming home from work and having your child tell you what you just did wrong and how you could do it better, because you, the parent, the one providing the sustenance for this child, older and wiser in the category that the child is correcting you in, you have to accept it. But when it's grown men talking to each other, and one guy having 25 years experience and actually knowing how to make the part, having this fellow that all he had to do was read the print and he caught him bending it backwards and now giving him advice, there's personality conflicts that come into play. We're not all born with diplomacy skills, and that's a real important thing on a shop floor, is how you explain when there's a problem. It's very easy to insult someone without even knowing you're insulting them. So there's a rivalry that goes on. The shop against the inspectors against the shop. And people normally don't want to do something wrong on purpose, but if it'll make an individual look bad, that is giving them a bad time because that individual goes beyond the profession of his job, but just takes it upon himself to show up that guy because that guy disputed the other day that possibly he was misreading the protractor, then all of a sudden you've got this guy just zeroing in, and it just creates all kinds of problems. It creates a police state. You have too many police out on the street, when all of a sudden the crime goes away. Well, the police aren't stupid. They know something has to be created or people are going to get fired. Well, the same thing happens on the shop floor. The inspectors basically take on the roles of the police. I'll give you an example. The way we got the Fabravision in 1989 was a repossession. Well, it wasn't a repossession. The first shop to take that was a shop here. I won't mention the name. It's a big shop now. Well, it's Salcedo Metal Products because it's been sold, so I can say it's now somebody else. But in 1989, that machine came up there, and there were 5 inspectors in there, and that machine landed on the floor. And the owner had a free trial on the thing for 3 months, and he could only depend on what the inspectors thought of the machine. So at the end of the 3 months, he asked the guys, well, what do you think? Shall we keep this thing? Or is it just, a dog with fleas? What do you say? Well, the inspectors all looked at each other and just assumed that if they say yay to this machine who's going to inspect things 10 to 20 times faster and more accurate, somebody's going to disappear. So all 5 of them in cahoots with each other said, no, it's no good. It doesn't do what it's supposed to do. So I got the telephone call, hey, I've got a machine up there, Carl Grosso, they let me know they got a machine up there, would you be interested in taking it on? And sure, we did. And it worked out just fine. We had just gotten a laser and we were starting to manufacture parts that we couldn't check conventionally. Well, it turned out 2 years later that a customer of ours had an inspector working for the customer. He came to visit us and recognized the machine because he used to work at that sheet metal shop, and he confirmed the story. That's exactly what had happened. They knew that if that machine worked, those guys were going to be out. It's that mentality. It's the human factor. It doesn't matter what culture or what part of the world or what religion you are, you're going to take care of yourself first before you take care of your company or you take care of somebody else. So yes, inspection departments and manufacturing departments, It's like Palestine and Israel. You really need to constantly be diplomatically getting the bridge taken care of. The best thing to do is not have them in a hostile situation where they're both working in parallel with each other. So in the future, when inspection is creating information, the information will be delivered not as an accusation, but as, look, this is a thing that repeats itself over and over. What can we do to help you with it? Looks like it's a tooling issue. What do you think? Create a cohesion, to create the, dismantle the problem.